Hello, everyone watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify. It's another episode of NRG Insights. And we are now into the Rising Stars of 2026. It's 26, isn't it? Yeah, 2026. Which is, if you haven't heard before, you didn't listen last year. We speak just to young people up and coming in the market, whether that be kind of broking, lending, any ancillary products, lawyers, marketing, etc. Just to talk to them about their take on it. As the dinosaurs of the industry, we're always talking about we need to get fresh blood in, but we don't actually speak to them to find out how to do it. So hence the reason for this series. So last bit of advice, one thing you can give to someone your age, coming out of uni, wanting to go into, falling into financial services, who's going to want to, what's the one thing that you can give someone advice on that is going to come put them in good stead for the future?
I think just be open to as many things that you can, take as many opportunities that come up, go to the events, meet the people, ask the questions, and just don't be afraid to sort of like take up a bit of space. If you don't know something, ask. If there are so many people who I meet who are sort of like kind of scared to ask a question because you don't want to come across like you don't, that you don't have enough knowledge or things like that. But you got to remember everyone's been in our exact same position and they didn't all get to where they are without asking.
Yeah.
So
I think people will be surprised as well how helpful people are, how much
yeah,
people want
people
to
have
help
been
you.
so lovely. Like I genuinely can't stress enough that the right people will help you through. And yeah, it's been really helpful for me at least. So can't stress it enough, really.
Well, if you could give any advice to like a young person coming, a young woman coming into the industry, wanting to kind of make their mark, what do you think the most important things that they have to remember are, or kind of traits that they need, or any kind of advice that you could give? What would that be?
Yeah. You have to back yourself.
Yeah.
Where that comes from, actually, I'm feeling a little bit insecure right now. I'll go to the people that are that have my best interest in heart. Like, let's have those conversations. Sometimes you refill your energy and you believe in yourself more because somebody else believes in you. And taking that bit of advice to be able to then go back and back yourself and take that risk is massive. Again, we said it earlier, but sometimes we can let negativity take over, and that little yes or no question in our lives, we look back on it now and we think, I'm so glad I said yes, or that wasn't right for me. It was a no. You can do that retrospectively,
Yeah.
but at the time you don't know where it's going to go. So, being able to say that with confidence, back yourself, and take advice from your mentors and people that love you, support you to be able to get there is massive. But ultimately, take the risk, don't fear it, and back yourself.
If you can give any advice to someone trying to get into this industry, what do they need to do? What do they need to think about? What's the important thing for young people, particularly women, right? It's a tough industry. We're still 70% men. We're working. It's getting better, but we're nowhere near it. But what do you think they need to think about, and what do they need to do to get into this industry?
I think just go for it and absolutely back yourself, and then just prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
If someone don't believe in you, just keep going and prove them wrong.
Good.
I think
and
backing
apply
yourself
for
is
every job on
important.
LinkedIn and hope that you're desperate enough to take one.
And do you know what? Give the small companies a chance.
Yeah, I just think you learn so much more from small companies. It's great going into corporate and moving up that ladder, but especially if you revert back to something like lending, if you've got like a family office or a small business, you learn every aspect of it. Whereas if you were together, you know how to underwrite that particular thing. You pigeonhole. That's the nature of the beast. So yeah, 100. That's a great advice for young people. Just learn. Like you've just got. Even if you're in a big business, just make sure you understand the departments, what they do, what the journey is for everyone, because it's
And try to have fun while you're doing it, because YOLO, we're all going to die one day. Have some fun.
Yeah. Do you know what as well? I said I'd stop, but I will stop. There is a link between, like, Colin is like super personable, wants to do everything for everyone. You are 100% like that's a leadership down quality that I think comes from your business, and that's why that's why people like you will thrive there, because it's you're very similar in character. Can't ever say that word. Character trait.
Character.
Yeah, character traits. Because you do care, but you are bubbly, and you're not like, you don't take yourself too. I always say this to everyone: take your job really seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. And I think you epitomise that. If you can give a bit of advice for someone that especially wants to jump into the broking world, what would you say? What do they have to think about, and it's two parts. So what do they have to think about first, and what traits do they need to really be successful?
I think it's funny. I mean, it depends sort of where you're coming from. I mean, for me, as I say, I was already within the lending space. I sort of knew what I needed to do in order to be successful. But be prepared for some long days. Be prepared for the market to be really, really up and down. You know, things are always going to be chopping and changing. I come in, start the year thinking great, and then Trump decided he wanted to start a war, and it's all just gone a bit crazy. But yeah, the traits really it's really cliche, isn't it? But just work really hard. Just sit down every day
Genuine
and crack
resilience
on.
as well.
I've
always, I was going to talk about, when you were talking earlier, I was like, definitely going to bring this up, but I forgot. But the fact of the matter is that you were in a safe job. Now you're in you went to a job where like shit falls out, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
problems are right. Like the resilience you need. It's not like it's not an easy ride. It's not from like salary,
No.
easy ride up to like business owner. It's not how it goes.
No, definitely. And I think, as I say, that transition for me, without again keep going on about that the behind the scenes bit of where I was before, but you know, different lenders will have different targets and ways in which they do things. Get that certain amount of apps in, you're going to get that bonus. When you're a broker, apps don't pay you at the end of the day. You might submit 100 grand a month, but you might only earn 2. So it's one of them. You've got to be doing what do you know what I mean? You've got to, you know, stick with it and be resilient and not get too sidetracked. It's difficult when you're first starting off. It's knowing it's going to take time and knowing, you know, I've been in a very, very fortunate position with very, very good people. And you know, it's taken off. We're doing well. The business is succeeding, and we are going to grow. But that won't always be like that. And it's just understanding and being of that mentality that it might be great now, but it might not be. So just keep sticking with the program, basically.
Right. And you're right. That's a great way to end it. And it's really, really true. That you just got to keep doing it. So same activity, you know, it works. So thank you, mate. I appreciate that.